Hey guys, it's Aman
And Christina
from Our Rich Journey. One of the questions that we get all the time is how do we learn to invest in the stock market? How do we know what to buy? How do we know what to sell? How do we obtain that knowledge? If you have been following our story, you know that we are self-made millionaires, and we became millionaires by investing in real estate and in the stock market. And so what we want to share with you today is how we obtained that knowledge. And we're going to share with you today how you can teach yourself to invest and grow your portfolio on your journey towards financial independence.
So our channel is all about making money, saving money, and investing money on the road to financial independence. And we had to start that road from the very beginning by teaching ourselves how to invest. We didn't learn it in high school. We didn't learn it in college. We didn't have parents who taught us about investing. We taught ourselves everything that we know today about investing. And what's so great about learning how to invest is that you have control over your portfolio. You don't need to hand over your investment portfolio to someone else like a financial advisor. So in this video, what we want to do is we want to share everything that we did to learn how to become financially literate and how to make the proper investments to grow our portfolio.
And what's so great about what we're sharing today is that everything is free. You see, we love free 99, and there are so many resources out there that you can utilize to learn how to invest. And we're going to share with you our best resources, and they're all free.
And the first resource to learn about investing is through Warren Buffett. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but if you go online, you can actually see the letters that Warren Buffett wrote to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders every year. And he has them online every year from 1977 up until today. Every single year and every single letter.
Now, we cannot overemphasize the utilization of this resource. It is out there for you guys to take full advantage of. And it is almost like an historical log of investing, because every single year, Warren Buffett puts his perspective of the market in these letters. And if you go back to 2008, and I think this is a very timely letter to read, if you read his 2008 letter, when Berkshire Hathaway's net worth had decreased by $11.5 billion because of the crash in the market, his letter shed light on his perspective.
So with these letters, you get Warren Buffett's insight into investing every single year since 1977.
But see, just don't read the letters. Get a highlighter and a notepad with a pencil and write down the principles that he's spewing in these letters. These are the same investment principles that people wonder about year in and year out, and he's answering them in these letters. So just by reading these letters and identifying the major point, you can use this as a resource when you're developing your own investment plan.
And like we said, these letters are free. So we're going to leave a link below so that you can access the letters and read every single one of them.
So the next resource is the Trinity Study. And you guys have heard us talk about the Trinity Study and the 4% rule as it applies to financial independence and retiring early. Well, if you are into FIRE, you will hear about this rule, but what you need to do is go directly to the source. Go directly to the Trinity Study and read about the rule.
So the study is called Sustainable Withdrawal Rates from Your Retirement Portfolio, but people in the FIRE community typically refer to it in shorthand by just calling it the Trinity Study because it was conducted by a group of Trinity professors at Trinity University. So one of the things about going directly to the source and reading this study is that people can explain the 4% rule to you or the Trinity Study in general, but if you're going directly to the source, you have all of the information contained in this one document. All of your answers, anything that you can think of, will be contained in this particular study.
And so we are going to leave a link below to the study so that you can go do your own research and understand the 4% rule and how it applies to your retirement portfolio.
So the next resource that we used to learn about investing were books. And we focused on books that really taught us the fundamentals of investing.
Now, we emphasize on books that talk about the fundamentals because we think it's important to start there before you go into a book, let's say, that's talking about individual stocks or maybe cryptocurrencies, because you want to use the fundamentals in order to judge these other books.
Now we have a list of books that we recommend in the description below, and you don't have to go out and buy these because these are really popular investing books and you can most likely find them at your local library. So check out the list below, but also we want to highlight a series of books that are great for new investors, and those are the Boglehead books.
The next way we learned how to invest was by researching specific questions that we had about investing. This is a very powerful tactic when it comes to learning about investing, because you can look to answer a question and superficially do the research, or you can do a deep dive into the answer. You know, we talked earlier about the Trinity study and getting to the bottom of the 4% rule. Well, those were one of those questions that we researched extensively. Whenever we had a question about the pros and cons of a certain investment, whether or not we should be investing in ETFs or mutual funds, we looked at those questions in detail by doing further research.
So another thing that we did in order to learn about investing is we identified mentors, and we also formed these little groups amongst our friends where we are able to talk about finances and investing with each other.
And you know, the financial independent movement is growing very fast. In fact, there are so many different little fire groups throughout the world that even have reached out to us. For example, there is a group in Atlanta that is so active. They are always posting about their meetings, about their different activities. I joked with Christina, I said, if we ever move back to the US, we are moving to Atlanta because they are on fire in Atlanta.
Now, Aman is just joking because our hometown is really Oakland, and Oakland actually does have a very active fire community there. They actually just reached out to us recently and asked us to send them an inspirational video, which we were able to share with them, and we just love the idea that these groups are popping out all over the United States and also in other countries as well.
And the next resource is the internet, because investments are always changing. Tax laws are changing, investment expense ratios are always changing, even the investments available are always changing. So the internet is a great resource to go to stay up to date on investments.
And like Aman said, things are changing all of the time. So it's great to have the internet as a resource because sometimes books can't necessarily keep up with the new trends. So for example, it seems like in the last couple of years, we've seen new things like fractional shares of ETFs, zero commission trades, and even zero cost index funds. So a lot of that information you can find on the internet, but we don't recommend that you go to just any website. There are some really great websites out there, but there are also some really bad websites with bad information. So some of the great websites that we refer to are Investopedia, MarketWatch, and there's also a great Boglehead site.
Now, those are general sites for general questions, but a really great site is your own brokerage company's website. There is a plethora of resources on your own brokerage company's website. Vanguard, Schwab, or Fidelity, they have a ton of information and they can answer all of your questions.
So this leads to the next thing that we did in order to learn more about investing, and that was talking to Vanguard's customer service representatives. Now, our accounts are primarily with Vanguard, and we found their customer service representatives to be very, very helpful. We've talked to them about certain CDs that we're interested in. We've talked to them about rolling over money from our 401k. They have so much information, and they are a great resource when you have questions.
And this is so important. Picking up the phone and talking to a real life person about your investments can be very valuable. And if you are at the right brokerage company, they will answer all of your questions and not try to upsell you on something else. So Vanguard does a really good job of answering your questions. But that's with us in Vanguard. Whoever your brokerage company is, reach out to their customer service and ask them the questions that you have. And our next resource is podcasts. There are so many good podcasts out there to learn about investing, to learn about financial independence, that you can just listen to podcasts alone and get all the information that you need. But from a fundamental standpoint, there are certain podcasts that we lean on significantly. So we love to listen to the Motley Fool series of podcasts, Optimal Finance Daily, the Dough Roller Money Podcast, and Planet Money Podcast. That is a great podcast because Planet Money is not necessarily about investing, it's more about economics, but it really gets our money juices rolling with some of the topics that they talk about.
So we have one more way that you can learn about investing, and that is through our very own YouTube channel.
Of course you can learn about investing through our YouTube channel. That's why we put these videos out, because we are sharing our real life situation when it comes to investing. We are walking the walk and talking the talk in our videos. And so if you want to learn more about investing, check out our playlist or Just ask us a question and we'll make a video for you.
So you guys really drive the content of this channel. When we see comments below and we see a trend of people asking the same types of questions, we build videos off of those questions. So if you have particular things that you want to know about investing, leave a comment down below.
So those are the things that we did to learn to invest. But moreover, we learned more about financial literacy. You see, financial literacy is so important. It will touch every aspect of your life. Not just investing in the stock market, but buying a house, renting a house, credit. All of these things all tie together with financial literacy. And that's what we want to really emphasize with this video and our channel, is the importance of learning more about your finances. So I'm going to get off my soapbox and I'm going to ask you, if you like this channel, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.